Hey, welcome to my channel. If you're new, I'm Steven. I'm half deaf, fully gay, on the spectrum, and sober. And if you're returning, welcome back. Either way, I'm glad you're here. Today, we're going to be talking about loneliness. Ironically, today I am joined by my sweet little dog, Mars. She's over here off camera having a snooze, so I feel a little less lonely than usual. But alas, we are going to talk about loneliness. But before we do, let me just say that I am not a doctor, I'm not a psychologist or psychiatrist, I hold no degrees. Everything that I share with you here today is my lived experience as an autistic, as a neurodivergent person, and should not be taken as any sort of medical advice or official diagnostic criteria. My hope is that something that I share resonates with you and helps you on your own self-discovery journey. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get into it. Loneliness is not an exclusive experience to autistic or neurodivergent people. Everybody experiences loneliness at some point in their life. It's part of the human experience. But the lens through which I want to talk about loneliness today is that of a neurodivergent person, because I am living in a neurotypical world and I am a neurodivergent girl. Yeah, okay, Madonna reference. No, terrible. We might edit that out, or we might leave it in because it's kind of weird and goofy and displays my personality. Ha, okay, yeah. Anyway, so feeling lonely. I have felt lonely my entire life in one way or another. And I think that that is very much tied to my autistic mind, my neurodivergent wiring. I've been very lucky to have a big and loving family. Support and friendship has always been in abundance for me. But despite all that, I have always lived with this feeling of being on the outside looking in. And I think that a lot of you can relate to that. It oftentimes feels like I am some kind of space alien living amongst the humans. I'm in some kind of suit with a big bubble on my head. And I just feel like everybody is always looking at me like I'm strange or I'm odd. And believe me, I am strange and I am odd and I have a lot of quirks and features. But it can make me feel not a part of, and that can cause me a lot of distress and has led to a lot of very harmful self-talk, very hateful views of myself internally. And I'm working very hard to try and move past those things. And I want to kind of share with you a little bit about that, partially to get it out of me, but also hopefully it can help you in some way. I think fundamentally, a big reason that I have this feeling of loneliness or this sense of otherness is because my mind as a neurotypical person, as an autistic person, is wired differently than other folks. And the way that I interface with the world around me is different than other folks. But growing up, I was not raised as a neurodivergent person. I was not raised as an autistic person. Nobody knew, and that's nobody's fault. It's only something that I found out recently. But in effect, I was raised with an incorrect operating manual, as it were, right? I was raised to interact with people in a way that my brain was not designed for. And I moved through a society that has an underlying structure that is not meant to support someone with my support needs. And so trying to effectively live as someone and something that I'm not.
Don't you get it? This is what I am.
Caused a lot of damage over the years. And it really skewed my perspective in a way that made me think less of myself, that made me think that I was not worthy of love or friendship or care or affection. It made me feel like I was not enough. And that cannot be farther from the truth for myself or for you. We all are worthy of those things and deserve those things. And it's a shame that sometimes it takes a long time or a lot of pain and suffering until we get to a point where we're able to see beyond these challenges and from a vantage point that allows us a more broad perspective. Um, and that's where I am now, right? So, a lot of my socialization skills, because socializing in and of itself did not come intuitively for me, and socializing within this neurotypical structure is not cohesive for me. A lot of my social skills I had to whip up on the fly or create from scratch. And as I was explaining it to my therapist, it kind of took shape verbally as this scaffolding, right? And this very intricate sorting and filing system. My brain works as a data absorbing supercomputer, right? And every single social interaction that I've had in my life is a constellation of data points, right? I take in this interaction, and there are all these little data points, and they all go into this like mental Rolodex of experiences. And that vast, dense library is what I pull from on the fly in a social interaction to get me through. And at the core of every social interaction, I really don't know what to do next. And I think that is one of the deviating factors from neurotypicality. That might be a made up word, but that's one of the differences between myself and a neurotypical person, where these things might come more intuitively for them. I have no idea what's happening. And every interaction, no matter how many interactions I've had, always kind of feels like it's the first time. And I feel like I'm falling without any support, which is where this database and this scaffolding comes in. I will have an interaction with a person, and I will make markers of every little piece of that interaction, the individual interaction between me and that person, the broad interaction based on the subject matter. I will observe their facial expression, their tone of voice, their body language, how they are affected by what I say, my facial expressions, my tone of voice, my body language. It all is these um, data points that get recorded in my mind. And so when I come into a new interaction that is similar to an old interaction I have, in an instant, I reference all of those things and am constantly referencing them in the interaction. Like, okay, well, their face is doing this. Well, I remember in a previous conversation where I talked about this with another person, their face was doing that. So I should probably make my face do this because they reacted in a way that was pleasing to me, that brought me to my ultimate goal, which is a positive interaction or an advancement of connection, right? Because to me, connection is very important. And I've heard it said, and I've read places that there's this idea that autistic people are not interested in or capable of connection. And that is not my experience. Connection is a primary focus for me. I really, really want connection. My my ideal way of interfacing with a person would be to like be in a room and just like have a mind meld with them,
Our minds, one and together.
like psychic tendrils going into each other's mind and just exchanging like our whole life history and everything about each other, and just coming away with this like deep, deep, deep connection, right? Obviously it can't happen, but I care a lot, and I have a lot of love and space in my heart for connection. And I don't like surface level interactions. I don't like small talk. It's meaningless to me. I want to see all of someone and feel all of someone. I want them to see and feel all of me. And this goes back to something that I mentioned in another video about eye contact. Like eye contact really plugs into that deep connection for me. Like when I look at somebody in their eyes, I do feel like I like see their entirety. I see their being, I see their soul, and it's very overwhelming for me. And I send that when I look at people as well, which is sometimes why I don't like to look at people, because I don't always want them to see all of me, because I feel like I can't stop myself from sending all of me. Does that make sense? I don't know. Maybe you tell me in the comments. But yeah, so like my overarching goal with nearly every interaction for me is forging a connection, even if it's just a small one that leads me to another one later. And so I rely on this vast neural network of experiences that have led me to good things, led me to not so good things, and I'm just constantly Rolodexing through them through every interaction, um, which is exhausting. And a lot of times it leaves me at a loss, right? Because that is how I interface with the world, but that's not how many other people interface with the world, right? And over the years, I feel like it is a bit of a limitation, right? Because I think that, I don't know, sometimes I feel like people can pick up on it, right? And maybe it's more obvious than I think it is. Sometimes I get the feedback that people are surprised that I have so much social difficulty because I mask it really well. And maybe I do. I have worked in the service industry for a lifetime, and I've gotten very good at masking and matching and pivoting and putting forth what I think somebody wants to see. But internally, it's not like that. Internally, it's a shit show. Um, and so people are surprised when when I express that I have difficulty socializing, but I do. And the worst feeling in the world for me is when I I do all the things. I do the A plus B, and it doesn't equal C. It equals fuck, 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 fuck. And it kind of breaks my brain, right? Because I have the internal Rolodex of my experiences, but a lot of those experiences are also built off of watching other people interact with each other and seeing them do the things that I wish that I knew how to do, watching them execute an interaction and then getting the connection on the other end, getting those eyes looking at them with love and admiration, getting a friendly touch on the shoulder, getting an embrace. There's this energy that I watch people exchange between each other of connectedness, of feeling seen and feeling cared for. And I want that. I want that for me. And a lot of times I don't receive that. There always feels this, there always seems to be this distance, right? This, we're close, but not quite there, always out of reach, right? And um, like I said before, I'm very lucky, and I feel like I have friends around me, and there is a lot of abundance. But it's it always feels like there's this connection that is elusive for me, and that leads me to feeling lonely a lot. I feel lonely all the time, and I read this post on Instagram recently that really resonated with me. It was about loneliness and the concept of chosen loneliness. And this person went on to talk about how sometimes the pain of chosen loneliness is less than the pain of being in the middle and still feeling not a part of, still feeling like you're looking in. Um, and I relate to that a lot. And I want to speak to that here because sometimes I really do feel like I need to just be in my own space, be in my own world, be apart from everybody, which is the last thing that I really want, because it hurts less. It hurts less to be by myself and feeling lonely than with all the people that I so desperately want to be on the inner circle with and still feeling like it's just not for me. And that sucks. And I don't come here to offer a real solution to it today because I don't have one. It's still something that I am processing and working through. Um, there is something appealing about that sort of introverted sense of isolation. While it doesn't serve to get me the objective that I have so long um, subscribed myself to, um, my perspective is moving around. My perspective is shifting, and I'm starting to feel that perhaps that strong objective of wanting this deep connection with absolutely everybody doesn't serve me. Maybe that is causing me internal chaos because I'm acting in opposition to my natural wiring. And maybe I do need a little bit more me time. Maybe I do need some more isolation. Maybe I don't need to be extending those tendrils out to every single person that I meet, or even, a handful of people. Maybe it just needs to be one or two. I don't know. It's something that I'm exploring, and I'm sure I will circle back to at a later time. But I just wanted to share these feelings with you because loneliness can feel quite lonely, deep, I know. And if you are an autistic person or a neurodivergent person, you might feel like nobody understands you, but I understand you. I hope that you feel seen and you feel heard. Um, you're not alone. You have me. But anyway, I hope that something that I said here today resonated with you and helped you feel maybe a little bit more seen and less lonely. Um, if you have any thoughts about this, please share them in the comments below. I would love to hear what you think about this topic. I'd love to hear if you have any solutions to your own loneliness, any changes in perspective that you might have found for yourself. I really want to foster a community here where we can all kind of help each other along our individual journeys with collective wisdom. So anyway, I hope you have a wonderful day. Remember, like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and thank you for joining me today. Oh my God, what was that ending? Okay, I'm leaving now. Goodbye.